The evening sun cast a golden glow over the wooden rooftops of the small town of Kipwood. A weary man walked slowly down the cobblestone street, his worn backpack slung over one shoulder. His name was Ryan, a wanderer who drifted from state to state across America, taking odd jobs wherever his hands were needed. Once, he had been a construction worker. But after life took a turn, he chose a path without roots, living freely, letting fate decide where he'd rest next. That day, Ryan was exhausted, with no place to stay. He found a spot beneath an old tree in the town's public park. The wind whispered through the branches as the sky dimmed to orange. Ryan lay down, and before long, he drifted into sleep. He woke to voices in the dark. Peering through the leaves, Ryan saw the glow of a police car's headlights cutting through the night. Two figures stood in the light, a young man, head bowed, and a police officer, tall and still. "Why did you do it, Ray?" the officer asked. The boy's voice cracked. "My mother's in the hospital. I've been working day and night, but I still can't afford her surgery. I didn't want to steal. I just didn't know what else to do." Tears fell from Ray's face, glistening in the harsh beam of the headlights. Ryan listened quietly, his chest tightening. There was no greed in that voice, only despair. The officer, Tom, said nothing at first. His face, half lit by the flashing light, was unreadable. Then, gently, he asked Ray to explain. Ray told his story. His father had died when he was young. His mother ran a small diner and often served free meals to the homeless. One day, a customer suddenly fainted at her table. A companion filmed the scene in panic and uploaded it online, accusing the diner of food poisoning. Within hours, the story spread across the internet. Local news stations picked it up before any tests were done. Days later, doctors confirmed there was no poisoning. The man had suffered an allergic reaction to something he'd eaten elsewhere. But it was too late. The damage was done. Rumors, lies, and online outrage destroyed the little diner's reputation. Customers vanished. Debts piled up. Ray's mother fell into despair, and her health declined until she was diagnosed with a serious illness that required immediate surgery. Ray worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs, but it was never enough. The day the hospital said she needed surgery right away, Ray said through tears, "I just panicked. I stole because I didn't know how else to save her." Ryan, hidden in the dark, clenched his fists. He knew what it meant to be cornered by life, to feel powerless in the face of cruelty. Tom stood silent for a long moment. Then he opened his wallet, counted the cash he had, and handed it to Ray. "You won't be arrested tonight," he said quietly. "Take this, buy what your mother needs. But don't ever let me see you like this again." Ray froze, eyes wide, then broke down in tears. Thank you so much." Tom turned away, his voice hoarse. "I'm just doing what any human being should do." From his hiding place, Ryan felt something stir in his chest, a deep, aching respect for this quiet act of compassion. The next morning, Ryan went to the Kipwood Police Department and asked to see Tom. He told the officer he had overheard everything the night before. "You helped him with your heart," Ryan said. "Let me help him with my hands." With Tom's help, Ryan found where Ray lived, a small, run-down house on the edge of town. When Ray opened the door, Ryan handed him an envelope. "This is all I've saved over the years," he said. "It's enough to cover your mother's treatment. Use it wisely, and one day, help someone else who needs it." Ray's lips trembled. He couldn't speak. He could only bow his head and clutch the envelope to his chest. Weeks later, Ray's mother recovered after surgery. One bright morning, Ray went to the police station to thank Tom and found him outside with Ryan. Cleaning the street together, Ray ran toward them and threw his arms around both men. "Thank you," he said, tears streaming down his face. "Thank you for not giving up on my mom." The three stood in silence under the morning sun, strangers bound together by something invisible yet profound, kindness. But peace never lasts long. A few days later, a local businessman reported that valuables had gone missing from his home. Whispers spread quickly through town. When investigators traced some footprints nearby, suspicion fell on Ray. Tom was accused of covering for him. Soon, all three, Ray, Tom, and Ryan, were summoned before the mayor. The meeting was tense. The mayor's gaze was sharp. "Do any of you have something to say?" he asked. Ryan stepped forward. "Ray didn't steal out of greed," he said calmly. "He did it out of desperation, to save his mother." Tom didn't follow procedure, but he chose compassion over cold justice. "And I saw everything." He then told the full story of Ray's mother, the ruined diner, the false accusations, the cruelty of strangers online. The room fell silent. The mayor's eyes softened. The businessman who had filed the complaint stood up slowly. "If the boy truly did all that for his mother," he said, "I don't want to destroy what's left of him. I'll withdraw the charge, on one condition. He must promise to work honestly and repay me someday." Ryan looked around the room, then spoke once more, his voice steady. "If society only punishes without understanding the pain behind a man's choices, then justice becomes nothing more than a cold machine. What we need isn't more prisons, it's more chances for people to start over." The room stayed quiet for a long time. No one argued, because deep down, they all knew he was right. Days later, the mayor announced his decision. Ray's record would be cleared. The town fund would help his mother reopen her diner. Tom would be disciplined for breaking protocol, but he'd keep his job and serve the community because, as the mayor said, he broke the rules for the right reasons. A week later, as the diner reopened and laughter filled the air once more, Ryan sat by the window, watching the small family greet their first customers. He smiled. He knew his place wasn't here. The next morning, Ryan packed his bag. Tom and Ray came to see him off. "Where will you go now?" Tom asked. Ryan smiled faintly. "Somewhere else," he said. "There's always someone out there who could use a little kindness." He walked down the sunlit road, his figure growing smaller with each step. Behind him, the town of Kipwood seemed somehow brighter, a place that had learned justice isn't just about punishment, but about understanding and forgiveness. And somewhere, out on the open road, the stranger who once slept under a tree carried with him the quiet, enduring light of human kindness.